Good afternoon. This is Dennis from the Sales Drive Home. How you doing? Thanks for joining me. We've got a show packed full of features and topics and all kinds of things that I don't know if we'll get to. But we're going to follow up on a couple things from yesterday. Got a couple of emails last night talking about, we were talking about time management yesterday, and the three-step process to time management. And, I was going to follow up on that real quick today. So we're going to talk about, I got a couple of emails. So, the first point that we talked about was just really deciding, hey, what contributes to my main goal every day, which is selling stuff. So what's really, what are the things that I do that create sales? I'm going to focus in on those, and I'm going to get rid of everything else. I used an example yesterday of, maybe the group goes to lunch, and you're not going to sell cars or radios or whatever at lunch with everybody that you work with. So I had an interesting question last night. Somebody asked me, and it's true, but I guess here's my point. Somebody asked, well, that sounded like it was like you had to be rude or cutthroat to be successful. And that's not true, that part. But, forever ago I had somebody that worked with me, and he was just not a nice guy at work. It wasn't that he was a backstabber or overly aggressive or anything like that, but he didn't want to hang out with the group, selling cars. He didn't want to hang out in front of the building just hanging out. He came to work, he did what he did, and he left, with the theory being, hey, I don't come to work to make friends. And so I've always kind of taken that, I've always kind of pulled that from that person, and it really resonates because, I got friends. Not a bunch, but I get plenty. I come to work, and I think that was the point. Not that you have to be rude, not that you have to just not be polite and social when you're at work, but go to work. That was my point on that first rule, which was, get rid of everything that you do during the day that does not contribute to you selling. So just to clear that up, you don't have to be rude, you don't have to be non-social, but focus. Come to work. Sometimes I tell people that I train, come to work. Don't come to work to wait. There's a lot of waiting that goes on in the sales business, right? There's a lot of waiting, and there's too much waiting. We're waiting for the next phone call. We're waiting for the next person to come on the lot. We're waiting on the next person to walk into the showroom. If you're waiting, you're failing. That ain't working for you. Hey, hang on just a second. So, don't go to work to wait. Go to work. Focus in on what sells. Everything else needs to go away. So, anyway, I got a question on that yesterday. I also got a question. Somebody asked me a question. They wanted to know why I do this. I started this about a month ago. It's been on my mind for a long time, and it's just, I always tried to do something where I was like, I'd go home and I'd sit in my room and I'd sit in the office and try and record something, and it never worked. And so driving home, I got 18-20 minutes that I drive home every day, and I thought, well, why not spend that time doing something? And I'm not trying to be your trainer. I'm not trying to be your ad agency. I'm not trying to do anything for anybody. I got a job. I like my job. Been at the same place for a long time. So I'm not trying to be anything to anyone. But I've been in this business a long time. And, I'm not Zig Ziglar, I'm not Grant Cardone, I'm not anybody. But I have been in this business for a long time. And that qualifies me as a professional. And I think that there are few and far between of us that have been able to survive in this business continuously for, 25 years. So I think I've learned some things. And that's all I'm trying to do is share what I know. And could be right, could be wrong. But I also want to get some feedback from everybody else because I'm still learning. I learn every day. I learn new things all the time. And so that's the reason that I do this. That's the reason that I came out with this. That's the reason that I continue to do it. Even though days like today, I jump in the truck and I'm ready to go home and it's like, am I going to do that today? Yes, I'm going to do it every day. And I'm going to continue to do it every day. And if it helps somebody, great. If I get some help, even better. But that's why I do it. I'm not trying to be anything to anybody, but I'm willing to help. Because that's what I do. So, the second point that came up today, and we talked about time management yesterday, and I continue to talk about it today because I think it's an important subject. But, I could tack on something that kind of transpired today, and it's always the same. It doesn't matter what dealership you're in. It doesn't matter what business you're in. It's always the same. Especially in sales, you get sales and you sell things and you get caught up in that individual sale. And sometimes you get caught up in that individual sale or trying to hit a number or something, and you do some things that you really shouldn't do. You take a chance. You deliver a vehicle. The states that have a spot delivery agreement that allow you to do that, where you may not have financing completely arranged, but a customer comes in and you deliver a car to them. That's called a spot delivery, right? We don't have the vehicle financed completely, but here's the car. Good luck. So, sometimes in states that have those spot delivery agreements, we might take some chances and, we might deliver a car, even though we know that we have to wait on the bank to finalize approval. And sometimes even when we have those approvals, it just doesn't all line up. For whatever reason, we've got a book value, the bank doesn't agree with the book value. We've got job time as what a customer may have told us, and it doesn't really check out once the bank does an investigation. So sometimes things just don't work out. Sometimes we take those chances. We go ahead and work through the deal because, it's a Saturday night and nobody's there and the customer wants to buy a car. We've been in the business long enough, if we're making those kind of decisions that, here's the credit score, here's the job time, here's the income, here's the payment, looks like it's all in line, let's go. And for most of us that have been in the business a while, we get pretty good at that. We know what General Motors' financial, we know what GM Financial is going to do for us. We know that when they look at a structure of a deal, this is what they're looking for, and most of the time we can kind of anticipate what they're going to do. But sometimes we get surprised. I talk about that only to say this. If you have a sale and that sale has hair, it's just not coming together, guess what? Those deals do not get better with age. If you're in a position where you're making that kind of a decision, and you make the decision, and we go ahead and deliver a vehicle, or we deliver whatever we're selling, and then it just doesn't line up, things just don't work out. We send it to GM Financial, and they say no. Okay, well, we've got a credit union, send it over there. No, they say no. Just call it, code it, because to continue to chase that one or two deals cost you even more deals, because your focus is not on what's new. Your focus is on cleaning up what's old. And sometimes middle of the month, we're rolling through the middle of the month, third week of the month, and you kind of let that stuff hang, and then it's the end of the month, and you got to figure out what you're doing. And then you roll into the next month still trying to clean up from the previous month. So part of that time management is just stay clean. If you're selling cars, man, if you sell cars and you sell a car, make sure you've got everything you need. And you know what you need. You need proof of residence, you need proof of income, you need proof of insurance, you need whatever other extraneous stipulations the bank might throw out. Get them. If you sell a car, as soon as you're finished with the detail and you're delivering the car, go get that stuff right now. Don't rely on the customer to just send it to you, because, man, it just snowballs. It's an exponential waste of time. You're wasting a little bit of time, and then it just becomes all-consuming. So don't do it. Clean it up. So anyway, that was my further thought on that time management, is that there's small points in that system that sound easy. Here's 3 steps, right? And if you follow the 3 steps to your time management, guess what? It'll help. But then there's also some things that come up in the process, and you got to figure out, man, I got to figure out how to tackle this, kill it, get it out of my system, because I ain't got time to waste. I got things to do. I got more stuff to sell. So today I started, that's the end of that subject, by the way. There was no segue there. That was just a hard transition. That was just like, boom, stopping, go to the next one. So today I started a thing. We did a couple of things. So we started a car giveaway. We partnered with the radio station here in town, and we were giving away a new car. And that happened. We actually started that contest in January and ran it. You registered through March, and then at the end of March, we were giving away the car. And we were going to have, we were going to narrow it down to I think it was 160 names that had registered on the radio and registered at the dealership and registered online. And we were going to take those, have everybody come to the dealership and have a big event and start drawing names. We were going to do this reverse drawing where, if we called your name and you weren't the very last one, you were done. Well, end of March, that didn't happen. Obviously, we couldn't get 160 people together. So we kind of put it on hold. We just kept it on hold, and we just kept waiting, because we figured, okay, this, April, maybe not, but we'll surely be able to do it in May. Maybe not May, but we'll surely be able to do it in June. And June rolled by, and July for sure. Well, finally we said, okay. The radio station said, listen, we can do it this way. So today we had a semifinal drawing, and we did it on Facebook Live. So I have absolutely no reason to tell you that. There's no point there. It's just part of my day today. I did a Facebook Live drawing. So we had some people that actually did show up. We took those 160 names, got down to 10 finalists, and we're going to finish that on Saturday. But an event like that, we thought of it as a way to get traffic to the store, right? You get people there, they register online, they register on the radio. and then you have this drawing and everybody comes, and hopefully it creates some excitement and more people come. And who knows, depending on what state you're in and what happens, but who knows when that's going to be a feasible thing. So actually that Facebook Live, having like this drawing, and we did have some people show up, and we had to do it outside because we had people show up, so we went outside into the delivery bay and kind of spread everybody around, and it was hot, but it was okay. We had a lot of fun. But and I don't have a huge following on my Facebook pages, but 10 o'clock on a Wednesday, I ended up with, between the stores, I ended up with 100 and some people that watched the Facebook Live event. And it got me thinking, man, that's not a bad idea, no matter what's going on, is to have something like that where you're doing that Facebook Live contest. And of course, maybe you're not giving away a car every week, but what can you do to have that kind of event, and set up the event on Facebook, pre-post that you're having a live event, so that you can tag that and you're having this live event, and do that kind of stuff. It kind of makes up for, you can't have a tent sale, you can't have well, depending on where you are, but there's no way that we could have people. It's a mess, right? So you got to think outside the box a little bit, and that was a pretty good deal. So think about that Facebook Live. How are you going to do that? How are you going to incorporate that? Maybe having those live drawings. I kind of thought it was cool. We also did I worked a little bit on Facebook ads today, and I did a little research. You can tell, you can go to Facebook page, right, and you can tell how they're advertising on Facebook. If you go to the page transparency section, you can look on there and you can see what ads they're running. And it was an interesting little thing. I spent some time doing that today because some of the most successful dealers, not just in New Mexico. I looked at a couple of dealerships that in the region or whatever that have been really successful recently, and they are doing some Facebook ads. So I looked at some of those Facebook ads, and one of the suggestions on Facebook ads is that your ad, if you're doing a video, let's say that video is only 15 seconds, and it has to do with something about view through, and I don't know, I'm not that smart, I don't understand, but have you found that true? Have you promoted Facebook videos that are longer than 15 seconds and have success with it? I'd like to know. Let me know. I ran out of time. Look, I'm at my exit. So I am done. We're going to follow up on that again tomorrow. Tomorrow's used car day for me, so we'll talk about some used car tomorrow. But I do appreciate you joining me. My name is Dennis at thesalesdrive.com. So if you want to email me, Dennis at thesalesdrive.com. This is the Sales Drive home. I am Dennis. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. And I'm done. Peace.